Master Chevrolet from Petersburg, Virginia, Chevelle. And we could see on here, this is the same as the model kit we're doing. So you can see the wheels are yellow. You can see on the front, they do have covers on the lights, and they took off the original bumper and just put a flat grille on there, so the Chevelle bumper is missing. So it looks like it's a grayish yellow roll cage in there. Don't see any bars on the front windshield, although we do see where they would be connected if they were there. We could see he had the horsepower on the hood. And you could see, looking at here, you can see the stripe here that's on there. And you can kind of see that has right in here the dark brown. If you look here, it's like the little gold or brown area that looks a little differentiated than the yellow at the top. Now this one has a metal back bumper, and our car model does not. So there's Lennie right there. So this is the model we're going to be building. And the one thing I don't understand is, and it probably was when this was remade by Round 2, I believe Round 2 did it, is they have a much golder color than the yellow on the box and the yellow on the real car. But we did paint the car yellow that it's supposed to be. So we're just going to do this. This is the second part. We did the first part. There is a video that is the first part that if you want to see where we took all the pieces and painted them. And now we're going to do the assembly. So this will be assembly of the Lennie Pond Malibu from 1974, I believe. Welcome to Junkyards and Barn Finds, and this is Model Monday. Alright guys, so this is a picture of Lennie Pond. This is the 1973 car for the 1973 Cup Series. And that's Lennie right there. For the 1973 series, we get a better look inside, and we can see the roll cage is actually padded with black padding on it. It does have a black seat, and you can see the gold inserts or panels painted, however you want to say it. You can see the wheels right there and tires. You can see the exhaust sticking out the side right there, rusted exhaust. And of course, you can see the back bumper is a metal bumper. So we could see the car. And there's Lennie. And of course, here's a close-up of the front. So there's your headlights. There's the bumper. There's what it looks like between the bumper and the headlights. So that is the same model we're building today. Now this picture, you can kind of see the difference between the gold insert and the actual yellow below it. So you can kind of see that. So we have a gold insert, and it's really noticeable right here. So the 54 comes outside of the gold insert there at the bottom, but the gold insert has everything else. So this is the car as well. You can kind of see. Look, I could paint this flat black. I think I saw a color that was kind of like this. I might just take the black marker and put where the foam would be and make that black. We might do that. But for now, we have to put these backlights on this right there. And I need to put this piece here, right there. Now, you're not going to be able to make this into a stock 73, 74 Chevelle. It's just not going to work. So I'm going to paint these. I'm going to put these on now. And the interior, some people said it was splatter painted, some people's body color. I've been around a lot of race cars. A lot of times they're not even painted. They're just aluminum. So I might just leave this aluminum, which is what I painted it. All right. So that's where we're at. All right, so one other thing is the real car, the real Chevelle of this year, had a nose piece which was it wasn't metal. Okay, so the thing is, there is an actual gap here between the real car's fenders and the front nose piece. So what you want to do is make sure that when you put this on, you don't fill this little gap. Excuse me. You don't fill the little gap that's there with body filler or anything like that, because in the real car you can actually see a gap here. So we want to see a gap there. Also, do not sand off the high point right there at the beginning of the hood, at the front of the hood, because that is actually where the hood will, the hood itself has a piece that matches up with that. So there's our hood, so we know the hood fits, and we will just let that dry, and then I will come back and put this piece on. We've already got a lot of the engine together, and like I said, I'm just going to take a black Sharpie and I'm going to color in. You can see right here the thicker spots on this roll cage, right there, right here, and here. I'm going to pad that. I'm not going to paint that or use black on that. I'm going to use black on the thicker parts, because that would be basically a foam pad with black tape around it. Usually if you go to the racetracks, you'll see people do that all the time. They put like those foam noodles over this stuff, and then they tape it up with black electrical tape. So that's how we're going to do it. We'll take our handy dandy black Sharpie here and just use it on top, as we saw in the picture. So that spot, this one as well. So you could just take a Sharpie, like I said here, and just get the fat areas, because it basically, you can see with the difference of the fatter areas and the thinner areas. And the fatter areas would be so somebody doesn't bang their head on it. So just take your Sharpie, go across all the fat areas, because that's where they're putting tape, black tape on. And you know, you can even do it like tape right there. You just keep going like that, back around. Now, one thing with Sharpies, like, they will dry. So just, you know, do what you can without getting all over your fingers first, and then let it sit and dry for a bit, and then come back and do it again. Do the parts you missed. You don't have to get it all in one shot, but definitely want to give at least like 10-15 minutes drying time on it. And remember, you know, if somebody's coming in the window here, probably the top bar is going to have some tape on it so it doesn't tear any of the padding off. And we'll just do this, and then I'll come back and let that dry for the moment, and then I'll come back and finish it up. And okay, and if you go like this, as if it's tape being wrapped, then if you miss a spot or two, that's okay, because it looks like the tape just didn't cover everything. And if you've ever looked at somebody who has a roll cage, a lot of times that tape is just tore up. So there you go. So got some old electrical tape holding on the pads, and the rest of it is the color it is. Oh. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So right now we've actually put this interior mostly together. We got the dashboard in, we got the shifter in, we've got the hydraulic pump for the axles in, I believe that's what, or the cooler rather. We have the fire suppression system in, we have the cage on, we have the seat in. So there's that. Then we've also painted, and so that in front of the drywall we have black, and the rest of it is going to just be aluminum. We also have to do a couple things. We detailed the starter and the breathers and the breather cap there. This has to get glued on to there. On the body, we've glued on the back, we've glued on the front. Now what we want to do is take our silver Sharpie here. So we have a silver Sharpie, and on the car we need to make these light covers were actually silver on the real car. So we'll just go ahead and make them silver here, like that. And like that. Now they're silver, We also want to do the trim around the windows before we put any of the plexiglass in. Fun fact, the plastic that we're using for this model is very similar to the Luan that is used in modern race cars. However, if you ever go and watch our video of going to RCR Racing, which Richard Childress Racing, that was Dale Earnhardt's place, the glass in those cars, and Richard Childress actually has one of his, he raced a Chevelle similar to this one, and that's kind of what I'm basing a lot of this off of, by the way, is the one in the video there. And they had real glass. They actually raced with real glass windshields. Now they use the plastic that's kind of similar to what we use in the model cars here. But back in the day, they used they raced with real glass, which is just insane, considering, you know, how many things get thrown out. Like, why would you race like 30-40 cars on a racetrack and you would just have real glass in the cars? It's kind of crazy to me. But, you know, you do what you do. I guess it didn't appeal to them or occur to them at the time. So, and hey, we probably shouldn't use real glass in these race cars. And we can also use this silver on, well, I don't know, I don't think it was actually silver on the real car. I didn't see it, but I know. Alright, so we have to put, these are silver, I know that. So, the rivets on the tail lights, on the plating that went over the tail lights. So, all right. So we have that done. Now we could probably do the door handles here. And we can do door handle here. They actually had the door handles on it. They just didn't use them. So let's also get the hood while we're here. And I think there should be, they're only showing two. One there and one there. But I know there was one there and there's one there. So we'll just put those there. Now also, if we take this wash, let's take the wash here and put this in. I think you should be able to see. Take some of this black wash. And if you want to see, you guys who have built with me before. So it's panel line accent. It's just basically a wash. You can get it in silver, black, white. I think white. I know you can get it in silver. I never used the silver one. But I used to use this all the time making aircraft models. Alright, so that one's done. And we're going to take, so with this is the front bumper, or the front bumper and grille that we're using, because this is the one that's correct for the vehicle. Now, I sprayed it silver, or I'm sorry, I believe it was chrome. Yeah, it was chrome. We sprayed it with an overspray of flat, like a clear, dull flat or whatever, instead of gloss. And because really it was more of aluminum than it is like shiny chrome. Chrome's really heavy. They didn't chrome stuff in cars a lot. They just used aluminum, polished aluminum. So we're using polished aluminum here. So, and we'll go. So this will, this black panel color will actually highlight the aluminum and all the grill and stuff. So we have that. And then we're also going to, I don't want to keep pulling this across. We're going to take these wheels and we're going to dirty them up a little bit. Gives them a little bit of character. So dirty these things up a little bit. And then we'll take a Q-tip and we'll go in there and wipe off the excess, but it gives it some actual depth. So we'll take some Q-tip and take that off as well. Welcome back. So a couple things. We did the panel lines. I showed you how to do the panel line stuff. So that's our grill with the panel lines done. Here is our panel lines done and painted firewall that's going to go, or radiator support that'll go there. Here's our hood. Here's the body with some detail done. All the silver Sharpie. And here is our cage and our interior. Very simple, very NASCAR. Very simple dashboard area. And here we've put the engine in now. So we have the engine, we have the rear shocks, the differential, the drive shaft. So this glued overnight, so now that's ready to go. So now we just have to put this on here. Now I have seen some issues with the firewall. If we put the firewall in and it goes in here, where I don't know, so this will sit in there and then this sits over top, and this part I think glues to under here. The instructions are not super clear on that, but I don't know if it would raise to the level of, if it goes in here, I guess it sits low enough. Maybe it sits in like that. And then the hood can sit on top. Let's see. Maybe that's what happens, is it sits like there. And then this sits in here underneath. Right there. So anyway, we're gonna put all the pieces together here. Put the exhaust on. The exhaust you put on after it connects underneath. The axles, actually on this one, on this model, like a lot of old time kits, goes right through the engine. So these two metal axles will go right through there and into each tire and rim there. So these don't have white letter tires, which almost every NASCAR car has. These don't. But that's okay. I'm not going to worry about them on this model. But we'll put this together, and once I have it all together, we'll come back and look at it, see how this fits. I said some people say that this doesn't fit right, but I don't know. It seems like it's going to fit right for me. And then we'll come back and check it out before we put decals on. So a couple things. So we're test fitting the body right now. Let me move the camera back a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're test fitting the body right now. And the way that this thing is constructed, you know, and it's an old kit. This is a very old kit. So I'm not having any problems with the radiator support, because I could put the hood on and the hood fits fine with the radiator support. I know, like HP guys and you know, there's a couple other people that build models on the internet that I watch, and they were having a problem with that, with the support, and they said the hood wouldn't close all the way. I'm not having an issue with that. I don't know why. You know, hey, it just might be the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know. But what I am having a problem, what I had a problem with, was the carburetor and using the NASCAR air cleaner here. Because inside the NASCAR air cleaner, they had I guess just a stick or something to hold it up, and then the carburetor didn't have a hole for it. So when you put this on before, it was sticking up. So I actually had to use my steel things here, cut this and sand down the top, just so I could put the air cleaner on and make it fit under. Now, is that cheating? Who cares? At the end of the day, you wouldn't be able to see the carburetor anyway with the finished model. And, you know, honestly, is it realistic? Well, these giant holes are not realistic. You know, it is a model, so trying to make it look its best when it's sitting like that, that's the key to it. So I just have this as a test fit right now. Glued the glass in with both the testers on the big pieces of styrene that go that way, and then using Mod Podge around the windows. And one thing I did, and I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did it, so it is what it is I thought I drew these straight because I put the glass here and drew the 3 metal bars, but they're not straight. But you know what? I've been around race cars from that era, and all they are, the support bars for this glass, they're never straight. So at this moment, I'm just letting this dry. It's got, so yeah, this right here is the big thing, the air cleaner. If I take the air cleaner off, then the hood fits in there fine. We put the tires and wheels on. We're letting it dry pretty much at this moment. So afterwards I got to put the exhaust in there. We just detailed the bottom just a little bit with a black Sharpie, that's all. Black Sharpie, we detailed it, and that's what we got right now. So this is the bottom of the car. There's your front drying, there's your back with the back bumper drying, and so we're just gonna go ahead and let this dry for a while, and we will put the what do we got? Oh yeah, got to put like the little gas tank on and some stuff after this dries. So we're just gonna let it sit here. It actually rolls. but the wheels are so, the holes for the wheels are way too big for these rims, so they keep coming off, and they probably will always come off. But luckily, you know, my stuff, once I build it, it just goes on the dock or on the shelf. But this kit's got a couple little issues, but it's an old kit. In fact, I think I built this kit. I think I built this kit back in this. If I didn't build this kit, I built one that was similar to this. I think it was actually the Wrangler car, but I built one. I want to say it was like 1979. It was the year that the movie, The Final Countdown, came out, about the aircraft carrier going through time. Because I built one of these down in the basement of my Uncle Tom's with my cousin Matt, my cousin Andy, and my brother. We each got a car model kit when we went to in Maryland, and my dad had taken us to see the movie, and then we went to the Air and Space Museum, and then we went back to Brandywine, Maryland, and we sat downstairs and each built a model car. And this is the one that I built. Now, I probably could have sanded this little part right here. This looks like a mold issue. I did not sand that. Molding issue. It's an old kit. It's not really detailed. I mean, the engine doesn't sit where it's supposed to. The metal front bar goes through. But you know what? I mean, that's one of the things. This was an AMT, early AMT kit. And when we build, we're going to build another 2 stock cars. One is a Budweiser, I think an 84 Monte Carlo, and the other one is a 78 Monte Carlo. They're both totally different kits from totally different high-end companies. When you see those compared to this, you know, but this is the only 73, 74 or fourth generation Malibu, I guess, because the 65s, then you had the 66, 67s were all kind of different. Then you went to the 68, 69, 70, 71, 72s, which were my favorite. And then you went to these until the, I think, 78. But this is the only kit I think available of this stuff. So I wanted one of these for my shelf. Anyway, we'll come back. I'll put all the decals on it, and I'll show it to you when it's done. Guys, I'm not going to show you putting every decal on because it's going to take a while. But because these decals are really big, I'm using a little bit of what's called decal set. If you're not sure what that is, you can buy it. And basically it's just a liquid that you can put on to your model here, and you put it on first before the decal gets put on, and then we're going to put this decal on here. This is the roof decal, and the reason we're using it, you don't have to use it all the time, but especially when you're doing really big decals, it really does help. It helps you slide it into place where it needs to be. I believe that is what it's supposed to be. I always think, yeah, oh no, okay. It's supposed to be, hold on Daisy, my dog wants to go outside. So we're gonna put, there we go. So then once you have the decal where you want it, especially these big ones, you can brush this stuff on. And what it really does is it kind of thins the decal itself, and that way you won't get wrinkles and everything. Like right now I have a dog, big dog, that wants to go outside. So yeah, I'm just gonna put these on here and spread it out using my brush, spreading it out from the center. And we have all these body panel decals to go on. I don't know if you can see them over here. So we have a whole bunch of body panel decals right in here that are gonna have to go on first. And then, oh shit. And then, oh shit. Do it again. And then, the slate came off there. There we go. Pop this back here. Okay. And then we'll put on all the minor decals. This is the only one of the big ones that has a number on it. Most of them are just panel decals, so you don't have to paint it. I mean, I probably could have painted the brown, but let's just do this. So, and then when we're done with everything, we go ahead and we'll usually put the pledge. Let me put it back there. Let's see it next to the end dust over there. Why there's end dust on the table, I don't know. But this pledge, Revive It, we'll put over top of everything once they're all done, and it makes everything nice and shiny. So, all right, I'll see you guys when it's done. I got the top on, I got the side on. I still have to do the passenger side, drinker side, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna let this side dry. We're gonna let the top dry. Notice there is no markings on here because they are all, you have to put them on over top of these panel decals. So we'll let that dry for now, and hopefully it'll dry flat. Sometimes these don't, they get too wet, they don't dry flat, they keep a crease, whatever you want to say. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. That's one of the reasons why we use Salvage, which is a solvent that's supposed to, and I've used it for 20 years, and I would say 99% of the time it gets rid of the wrinkle because it allows the decal to get very, very soft and adhere better. But when you have these big panels, these big decal panels, sometimes they just won't do it. But we're getting there, and I'll come back when it's completely done.